Good morning, because Bitcoiners, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check. I am Snorlax. You also know me as Tommy, and I am joined by the usual cast of characters, Max, Tucker, and Will's Outlook. Been a few days, I think, since we've had a market check. So, yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it with you guys. Had some, I would say, some interesting developments on the charts. Some of them new, some of them, I guess, not so surprising. If you've been following the show before, things like equity indexes continually moving in a straight line higher, being one of those things that has a certain ring of consistency to it. I don't want to sound like a super very redundant when I'm saying that, but I mean, it just is the case, right? I mean, equities tend to, at least this year, have been moving straight up in a straight line. I will say, though, I've been kind of harping on the importance of this July options expiry date for a few days now, pretty much all week. Not in the sense that I want to look for shorts on equities, but when we're talking about, I mean, it's almost kind of a meme now, like a window of weakness, right? When volatility or the indexes become unpinned. What's that mean? It means that, indexes can kind of move a bit more freely. You have less volatility suppression, which can lead to more downside. So for me, every time we get one of these OPEX dates, I tend to be a little bit more cautious with my positioning to the long side. As with crypto, I will scout, directional shorts if the opportunity is there. But yeah, no, I mean, we're already kind of seeing right now some pullback in legacy indexes right now. And it's interesting because we had, to start the week, I want to say they moved like in 60, 70 points up in a straight line. But thus far, today, a small pullback on the S&P, but more so on the NASDAQ, right? Because we're down about 1.5% today on NQ. I did think that development was particularly interesting, and I want to get more into that, as well as some levels that we could potentially be watching for should this OPEX, should this OPEX continue to lead to downside within the market. As far as crypto goes, yeah, I mean, we had that massive nuke last week. I think we've had the opportunity to talk about this already on this show, but yeah, I mean, I after a dump like the one we've had, it's difficult for me to get bullish without seeing more puking, or at the very least, I need to see some, some structural shifts. And we had an attempt last night at that, right? We had the first, I would say, structural shift on any sort of time frame since probably Monday or Tuesday. And, thus far it has been met with a resounding rejection. We're probably going to see new weekly lows today, if I had to guess. So I'm very frustrated about myself for puking that short that I had on yesterday. I could have held it, honestly, but with the way that these patterns are set up, guys, they are building short liquidity eventually to just burn them all. They will do that. They've done it already a few times this year. We talked about how a lot of the upside and the new highs that we've seen this year are from collective short buildup. So, usually what happens in these downtrends is we get systematic chop lower, building up shorts that eventually will revisit. I have I have high expectations that this is probably going to be similar, but in the meantime, that means that a lot of these highs are probably safe. And we could continue chopping lower if that's the case. But yeah, no, definitely frustrating for me because I had an extremely bearish bias yesterday. And I felt like that move that we had yesterday wasn't even much of a squeeze, looking at the open interest. Like we didn't even squeeze anybody. I don't even know what the purpose of it was, right? But maybe we squeezed about 10 million in longs out on or of shorts out on Bybit. But yeah, no, this is going for new weekly lows. I'm not gonna cope about it on the show, but I'm pissed. Like I am very, very mad. That's the last I'll mention of it on this stream. But
Double bottom.
uh yeah, I mean you'll probably see alts catch up to Bitcoin, yada yada yada. I don't see why we don't see new weekly lows today, but this market loves to scam within a range. So we'll see if we sweep it and then continue ranging, or if we start trending towards that naked point of control at 28.8, 28.9. I know that's a pretty hot level for liquidity. And if we sweep below that, then you should probably start hugging your mother if you're in longs, because we're probably going down to like 27.8. If that doesn't stop price. Um, but yeah, so far haven't broken the weekly low yet. It does look like it's highly possible at this point, if not very, very probable, given where we're located on the chart. But I'll go ahead and pass it over to Max. I'll cope in silence at the miss short that I just fumbled. But Max, what are you seeing in the markets? What do you make of, not just the rejection that we had on Bitcoin, but also some of the weakness that we're seeing in equities right now?
By low, you mean high, right? You, you know what's funny there, Max? When you mentioned that, I was talking to somebody, I don't remember who it was the other day. But they were like, "Oh, what about this price?" Oh, it was actually somebody in my DMs on Twitter, and I was like, I could see best. Can you guys hear me? No, I can
No,
hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Oh, can they hear me?
Quiet.
No.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be on your side on the good old recorder there. Yes. So he's trying to figure out where he wants to take his entire net worth and enter for that long right at the moment. So he'll be fixing his mic in just a second. Um, but yeah, so I was talking to somebody on Twitter in my DMs, and they were like, I don't know, can they hear him? All right. So and they were like, what if it went down to this price or that price? I was like, the best case scenario I could see here is a deviation low from the double bottom we're currently at, and then basically a rip from here, right? And that deviation could be like somewhere in the like 29, 25, where everybody's looking for 28, right? And they just rip off of that low. I think that's really your best case scenario at this point to like I would assume to get an entry, right? You gonna put me on that out.
I'm trying
Deploy
to
more
figure it
cash
out.
blasts to get an entry for upside. I'm just saying, like, look, you can snip it whatever you want. All right, I'm just telling you guys, like, this is where the
Oh,
market's going.
it's funny stuff.
All right,
No,
I know.
I agree. We're probably going up from where I like. If we go down here, I still think we're going up. But
Yeah, it'll be a deviation. That would be the thing. We either have to deviate high or deviate low. It's been a consistent thing all year. The deviations have just been they've been a game changer when you look for them, right?
yeah,
So if we deviate high, I could be more bearish. I just don't feel like we've had that deviation high, right? If we deviate low, I could be more bullish. It just the candles are kind of trapped in a range right now, a high and a low range, and that double bottom is just way too obvious in a sense. So I think a deviation would make sense. But like at the same time, that could be low. You could see a ripper from there. Last night was
Hello.
really interesting. How'd you guys like I kind of took it all the way up to candle body resistance and then nuked it.
dude.
Man,
No,
it was insane. Look, if you put it on a weekly, it's literally candle body resistance.
Hey, real quick, can the audience give me a little feedback here? Can you guys hear me now? It looks like it should be working, but I want to just double check.
See on the left over there? Yeah, I don't know. They could hear it. On the far left, Tucker, go all the way to the left side. The candle body straight. Yep, over there. The candle body resistance right at those highs.
yeah, they did. Yes, they did. I mean, dude, what in the hell is this?
Double top.
Double top.
Nah,
An
that's
evil
the
wick,
rising.
man.
It's the rising,
Yeah.
bro.
That's a pretty bearish candle.
Double
dude.
top.
That's a reverse hammer, is what it is. But the funny thing is they've done it a couple times.
Yeah. I mean, they put in some weird candles here too.
I mean, look at the reverse hammer over on the right. Keep going to right, a little bit more, right there.
Will,
Look at
all
reverse
that
hammer.
fancy language just to say double top, man.
That's pretty much a reverse hammer, which means the trend should have reversed, but then they ripped it down just a little bit more and then ripped it right back up.
Dude, look at that. We cannot close a 3-day above my line. That is insane.
I don't think you'll see a 3-day close above that level in July. It's a pretty hot level for options.
Dude, if you
Yeah.
go and you look at the historical trends, typically July, August, and September have been terrible months for crypto. I'm
Yeah,
just
but
saying.
You
Can you
gotta-
imagine if like imagine we did something like this? We go back down and we range between 31 and 25 all the way throughout summer, and then like October, November towards the end of the year we actually go up.
Yeah,
Mac.
if you look at it there though too, with what you're saying, Tucker, they're basically clearing shorts, bro. Like they just keep getting higher and higher and higher with each reach.
This is a megaphone. This is a straight up megaphone, bro. Look at this. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I mean it could be Max, you're right. And we get a little bit of a dip going into the end of the year and then rip there. And then all of next year would have to be bearish. So that's
As
how
it
that
should
would
be.
play. So that's not something I want to see. I want to make money. Well, I guess it don't really matter because then everybody's gonna be in the opposite side and you're gonna make a lot of money shorting. That's the funny thing with bear markets is like 90% of the market continues to play the wrong trend in bear markets.
Look, man, I just want to hammer a short somewhere in here.
Yep,
Take
that's where I
down-
want mine.
take it down to about here. And then go
And then
straight.
nuke straight
Mm.
up.
Yeah. And then just go straight up here.
That's the plan, bro. That
That's
is
all
the
there is to
plan.
it. No, but now it's just figuring out the micro moves, right? It's like you do
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And that's actually a really good point that you brought that up, Tucker, because that's exactly what we're looking for historically. Is we're trying to play the micro and the macro, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to catch those micro moves, the smaller moves and the bigger moves, so we can gain more liquidity for the bigger moves. And that's been my thesis the whole year. Coming back for that wick makes sense. It really does. But I'm not going to be ignorant to 25K as a potential bottom two. Both of those areas could be a bounce. So it'll be 25 or it'll be 19, one of the two.
We're seeing a bit of a spot bid come in down here at these lows, so I would note that.
Don't you like how predatory it is, though, Snorlax?
Oh, it's very predatory, man.
It is
It's like the
super
most
predatory at these lows.
this range up here is probably the most predatory range I can remember. And I say that I'm shocked that I've actually traded it profitably, and that's mostly just because of that one move that we had higher last week. But like, damn, what a range, man.
Just always expecting to basically defend that double bottom low, and always expecting to try and come in and keep on compressing it from the highs. Now here's what you don't want to see and what you don't like to see. You're continuing to form lower highs in this area, but you're continuing to hold the same low, right? That's a compression move. You're getting compressed down to the low, and if that low doesn't snap, you're going to snap to the upside really hard.
What do you mean higher lows like these?
Yeah. You are literally breaking out on higher time frames on the highs, but your lows continue to hold strong.
Yeah, if you set a higher high here, that's probably
That's your indication that you're gonna reverse back up. Yeah. That's
The
what you're
fact
looking
that
for right
they-
now.
The fact that they left the highs from the weekend untapped does make me think that we could go see 31K. I will say that's the only thing that makes me feel like not as copy about the short is that we did not tag those highs. So we are building up some short liquidity to sweep.
Yes, a lot.
I said this on our morning call with our Discord group, that those highs that Tucker have right there, that would be amazing to go back at 30.441. That high should have been taken out, in my opinion.
Yeah, but wouldn't you, Max? Wouldn't you arguably say, maybe not arguably, but wouldn't you logically say,
Will, I'd never argue with you. Come on now.
In some ways, the forming of these lower highs are enticing shorts, even though the low hasn't been violated.
You're saying it's like too obvious of a short, like they're baiting shorts.
They're baiting shorts. Yes. They're giving them the lower
I would
highs.
not say that. I would say that the constant sweeping of highs in the previous range and failed breakouts is causing a lot of those late longs to puke towards value area low. And even if I think that the short baiting is going to happen sub 29K. I think that this is a rebalancing of the books because a lot of people longed above 30.8 and they're starting to puke down here and taking losses.
Well, they've already closed or are looking to close. Like, look at how predatory the shorts are, and then look at how grindy the longs are. Right? They had to grind for their highs on the longs, whereas the shorts just completely, just puke instantly. They just nuke straight down. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just more violent to the downside than it is to the up, but you're continuing to hold the range low.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's holding for now.
So fun watching us sweep all those wicks in one go. And I've like passive bids at below that. If we hold this range low again,
Yep.
The passive bids below that range low will all get filled, and you're gonna wish they had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is if like kind of like what Tucker said, man, they get it to like 30.6, they're gonna form a higher high here. You're gonna bait in retail on the spot hard. They're gonna spot this thing straight through, I think.
Hey, dude, how many times have you just been able to bid 30K and just make money? Like,
Over and over and over again.
Times, yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, This feels like long bait, you know?
But it's played. It's played every time. Just like short bait is played at the highs.
The one thing I'll say that's different about this trek to the lows, though, Will, is that previous times where we would touch the lows and then just straight grind higher to the range highs, this one has not. Like, clearly
Yeah.
we have a bit more supply at the high that we created last week than we have at any of the previous highs within this range, keeping us kind of like weighed down a little bit.
We've spent a lot of time down here. These were
Yeah,
all just dips in.
yep. That's what I'm saying though too. Is like we're spending a lot of time at the lows, making people feel like this is the area to short. Arguably, if I were to look for a short, and I were to think the Super were going to nuke, what I would do is I'd wait for the break, and I'd wait for the break back up, and I'd wait for the rejection of the support / resistance. Right. As soon as it came back up to retest, if it can't break back through, that's your short. I just think shorting here is like you're getting baited.
Boys, do you think we punt Soul here?
Dude, if Bitcoin holds here, absolutely, man.
I tend to agree. I will probably start buying some.
Truthfully, you could keep a really tight stop here. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I might have to. But then
I
you're
don't know, I
making
mean,
a bet that Bitcoin's going to hold here because I think if
I think
we lose,
Bitcoin's gonna hold here at this point. They would have swiped it already.
Dang, still relax on board.
Like the
God.
range lows are going to go in one wick. It is going to be a disgusting candle. Like I cannot emphasize enough how brutal that candle is going to be when it happens.
Yeah.
I just don't know unless this turns into like if we're on the 4-hour chart, unless this current candle turns into like a giant SFP and we close back above like 30.3,
We're going to though.
30.4, then I feel like kind of best case scenario for a Bitcoin bounce is literally like 30.2. Like I think that order block at the top right there, Tucker, on the 4-hour, I feel like that should cap price, at least in the short term.
Counterpoint,
there.
Max, is we are at range lows and we're holding for now. So like, do we just bid alts?
Yeah,
think so.
I would think that maybe it's time to bid alts, but literally just for low time frame mean reversion. Like you could maybe take Sol from here. I'd be looking to close it at 27 again though. Like I don't feel that much conviction that Bitcoin's going to put in like a mega bounce here. I could see a bounce up to 30.2. But I don't really see much more than that, truthfully.
I think
Yeah, but
Maker's
it-
gonna run to 11:30 on this pump
That's
too.
neat.
Wouldn't you guys argue though momentum's in favor of Bitcoin over altcoins at this point? Like altcoins have ran.
Depends on the altcoin.
And even though Bitcoin was chopping, altcoins continued to run and run and run and run and run. That's the first nuke we saw from altcoins, right? And I'd arguably say that first nuke from altcoins is your first indication that liquidity just left those alts and went into Bitcoin to support it at these lows.
I don't know about new highs within this range, but I definitely think we can go back to 31K.
But you see what I'm saying there, though, right? Snorlax with that nuke, like we've nuked multiple times on Bitcoin already, and this is the first time altcoins have followed the nuke.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
well, alts have been strong,
So,
man.
if
They
you
were
look at
strong
the-
yesterday through
Yeah,
through the Bitcoin downside. They were kind of just like waiting for
That's
the
what I'm saying.
recalcitrance to pop off.
So Tucker, what I'm saying is like even though Bitcoin's drawn down now multiple times, altcoins continue to chat against the Bitcoin really strong, right? See how you have that strong uptrend? This is the first nuke candle you're seeing on Sol with Bitcoin nuking. So arguably that liquidity just shifted over to Bitcoin and they can pump again, but then they're going to dump again when Bitcoin needs support again. So I think arguably that Bitcoin's going to catch the bid here. It's going to switch back.
Interesting. What does Bitcoin dominance look like then?
Yeah.
Hey, wait, Tucker, real quick. Yeah, never mind. You're good.
There you go.
Do it after.
What?
I
was gonna say-
Oh my bad.
I was going to say, just because Tommy brought up Maker, pull up Maker Bitcoin and take a look at that chart.
Bitcoin dominance it's got to bounce here, man. I think it
Mhm.
bounced for
Has
sure.
to, which means that alts are going to bleed against Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to outpace these.
So look up Maker USDT divided by Bitcoin USD.
You're gonna bet against Solana? Really, Will?
So if you go to the weekly time frame, this doesn't make me super convicted
you
that
are at the
Maker
highs,
does.
bro.
This doesn't make me like overly convicted that Maker does that well if Bitcoin's going to be weak here, just because it has these small periods of it has like it's a constant downtrend Maker against Bitcoin, and it has these little moves that are just like parabolic. I mean, you can even extend that to the high there, Tucker, like all the way back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, eventually it will break, but I'm looking at it going, all right, well, maybe this is just another one of those pops. Yeah.
I would think even if that were the case, this is your rollover position where you come back and retest the trend, even if that's the case.
Yeah, there's no good way to draw it, really. Right there.
I mean, you want to touch as many candles as possible. So even if you got to cut through some, you cut through some.
Yeah, I mean, we're right there then.
So let's go to 31K, man. I'm feeling it.
Feeling 31K.
Just add 4 to
Damn,
5
Tommy,
more K and you're good.
Tommy, you just went from like so mad you fumbled the best short to send it to 31K. Like
You
10
want to know
minutes.
something, Max? I actually got a really great compliment from a friend like a week or two ago where they were just saying that they'd never met anybody who could flip bias as quickly as me with as much conviction. And they thought that was a really great trait. What's the saying? It's strong convictions held loosely. I feel like that kind of sums up how I am as a trader.
You got to be able to adjust with the market, man. You got to look at it from an outside lens and always be like, all right, look, I would like for it to do because I'd like cheaper prices, but the reality is that's not where we're at yet.
Yeah, I might just take a long, throw a stop at like 29.4 and go outside.
Yeah.
I could see this.
It's okay, Tommy. Even though you're 4 to 5K from where it's going to go, I still like the change in the momentum.
This 4 hour closes above my line right here. I like it.
Will, what's the lowest that you see Bitcoin going on this next leg up? Was it 34K? Was that your low point?
Oh yeah, I think it's 34 to 37. Yeah, I think that's the range, man.
I really hope it goes to like 33.9.
There is some good confluence at
33.9, just so you can't, just so you were right, but technically you were wrong.
Off by 1 penny.
Yeah, I want you off by just
had
enough.
That happened multiple times.
Just enough for me to make fun of you, but you were definitely right. But I need to be able to poke fun of you, so we need to front run Will's level just a little bit.
I don't know, man.
I'm telling you, look. So throw up Sol again real quick, Tucker, and then do a split chart with Bitcoin. So like 2 charts. Pull up 2 charts. Sideways, yeah. So see how many times Bitcoin is kind of nuked in that area? And Sol just continued to chad, even though Bitcoin nuked really hard. No, BT go Bitcoin.
What do you mean? This is Sol Bitcoin.
You got BTCD. Oh no, that's BTC USD. Okay. Yeah. So see how many times Bitcoin's nuked right there? But Sol was unaffected by those nukes. This is the first time Sol actually took a hit from those nukes. And see how Sol's pulling down and Bitcoin starting to hold range. That's what I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. That money, that capital's rotated into Bitcoin.
You know what? Somebody just told me to take a look at that I hadn't, and now I kind of can't believe I haven't.
Oh.
Doge.
No. Really?
Forgot. I've been so focused on Pepe, honestly. What's going on with Doge?
Really good.
Boom, boom. Look at that.
Oh baby.
Bitcoin was down 2, Sol was down 13. That's capitulation basically against it. All right, what? Doge.
So I'm longing Doge this morning. AMA.
You're long in Doge right now.
I think so. Yeah.
Kind of looks like it just was. Oh wow, hang on. No,
I'm
Marines.
just gonna be real with you guys. Like I firmly believe when we take these range lows, it's probably gonna be one candle down to 27K. Maybe even lower than that at this point. But the fact that we stopped here is already in itself inherently, I wouldn't call it bullish, but it's not bearish.
It follows the support, doesn't it? I'm telling you, man. Literally stopped right in your area of liquidity.
Will, your bullish conviction
Oh.
is irking. I want the nuke,
You know,
man.
look, you know, I was bearish at the beginning of the year, right? I was 100% January, you know, even going a little bit into February. I was like, hold on. I was like,
It's just how unbothered you are by any little sell. You're just
no.
he's just so unbothered. He just doesn't care.
Well,
At
we
least
see
want
the-
him stressing on the sells, man.
it's not in the manner of like other people who are just like up only, right? It's in the manner that conviction to the play, look at where liquidity is, and it just keeps bouncing. Like the strength is showing itself. Like I'm and not only that, like if you looked at things like yesterday, man, you had freaking what's his name? I forget what his name is, but Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer yesterday said they're telling everybody, hey, market's done. This is the overbought portion of the market.
He knows what he's
Yeah.
doing. He's trying to send S Jim to 0. He knows what he's doing.
Dude, he might actually become like a giga signal because he
Yeah.
was picked on so ruthlessly that like he
mean-
might be on a mission to just screw everybody that fades him over now, you know?
You can't be more wrong than Jim Cramer. I'm sorry.
Hasn't he been right on equities since like March though?
He's been right,
I
dude.
saw somebody mention
He's been
that on
right.
Twitter about how fading Jim Cramer in equities since February or March, you'd basically be like broke.
Oh yeah, he's trying to send that inverse Jim ETF to 0. That's what he's trying to do.
Dude, I wouldn't fade Jim Cramer anymore. Like it became too widely known and like he was just picked on too ruthlessly. Like he's on a mission, man. He's on a redemption arc right now.
What to do? Hire an actual fucking TA
You never
guy?
want your counter trades to be like to lose their edge, man. Become too public.
Dude, the moment they
one of our
filed for
counter
that.
trades actually was super bearish down here. It gave me a bit of conviction.
All right, text me who it is. I don't want you to say it live here, but I want to know
He's
who
not
you're
gonna
thinking.
make it, man. That's all. I'm
He's
gonna
not gonna make.
say. He's not gonna make it.
I
I
need to
think you
know
know
what
who I'm
it
I
talking
know
about.
who you're talking about.
Give me names. Give me names.
I think I
Oh,
know.
yeah.
I think I know.
I definitely know.
Oh man, he's not gonna make it.
Oh man. It's like I am seeing a pretty clean like little 3-tap long here on the hourly though. So it's clean invalidation. This holds or else you're going to like probably 29K.
Are we gonna see the link Doge rotation?
Best I can do is 21K.
Flutter, stop it.
Yeah, and it's not even trying to counter trend Kramer. I just hate when people come out with definites, right? Like, hey, it's 100% gonna happen. Hey, we're way overbought or oversold. Like, if you can come in and realistically say, hey, this is potential for here, but like, you know, we could also based on this or that. Like, I think that's a much more reasonable response than a definite.
Here's the thing about Jim Cramer. Like, he was never actually a fade. Like, he gets paid to talk about things and tweet things. He's basically like the biggest influencer of the boomer generation. You know, he's our parents' financial influencer before CT was a thing. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's got more money than everyone that talks shit about him. He's connected with every major institution and hedge fund in the entire world. His name recognition is off the charts. Like, he's not a fade. He's intentional about what he's doing. He can be wrong just like anybody, but this man understands the markets and he's extremely well connected. So I don't know. I truthfully, I wouldn't fade him for that much longer because I think everyone pissed him off by calling him like he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, if not like $1 billion. And he had a career successfully managing outside capital, and he did it well for the most part. And then everyone just starts, like a bunch of guys trading like $300 accounts on CT decide they're gonna like meme him into an inverse ETF, and they did it. Dude, that would piss anybody off, you know? Like, I wouldn't fade him now. You poked the bear, man. You pissed him off.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, man. I think like when it comes to him calling exact tops and exact bottoms, he's usually a little early or a little late.
I wouldn't use him for intraday signals, but I think at this point, like, I wouldn't fade him on the high time frame, man. Dude, you piss somebody off like that who's that well connected, just watch out, man.
Well, on the higher time frame, arguably, I would be in the bear camp because I'd say we're more in the distributor zone, but it doesn't mean we don't have more upside before the down.
Dude, how, like, think about this, Will. If somebody made an inverse Will's Outlook ETF, and every time you tweeted something publicly, they would fade what you said. You would send that thing to zero as fast as you could. What better way to actually track what you're saying than to screw over and take the people's money who bet against you directly? Do not fade him, dude. That inverse ETF was the nail in the coffin for fading him, man. Like, I'm sorry. No way.
Let it play for a while, though. He did let it play for a while. But I don't know. We'll see. He's telling us equities are oversold as a whole. I'd arguably say
yeah, Tommy.
Overbought. Yeah, overbought Tommy, as a whole.
I saw that too, Tommy.
Which one?
The most giga fade ever, man. He's just oh man. He never fails, man. He, as soon as anything happens, he hits the timeline and it's just like automatic.
Oh, you're talking about whoever's gonna not make it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, I need to know who's not gonna make it.
Hang on, Will. I got you.
You can't say it out loud, Will.
I won't. I'll be quiet.
He's not gonna make it, Will.
Oh,
have to derive edge from wherever.
I could have told you guys that. Like, I thought it was somebody I didn't know. I was just like, that dude's definitely not gonna make it.
Guys, this is unrelated, but it needs to be seen on here.
Oh man,
I think this is hilarious.
Yeah, he's toast, man. Like, biggest fade ever.
You guys do this?
I do that, man. When I'm like trying to not a parking spot, but when I try to find like my location, I always do that. Yeah. I don't know why I do it. I just maybe it's like I'm trying to not disturb the peace, you know? Like, I don't want to. I don't know what it is, man.
Look, if you come in at that volume, stay at that volume. It's already too late. Squinting your eyes while you're turning.
Will when 34K.
I'm telling you, man. Look, we're probably, I think at best we'll see a triple bottom in the coming weeks. I think another month will rip. And then
all right, Will, is NQ going to make a new low again, or like is the global low in after last year?
I haven't seen NQ, to be honest with you. Can you?
Yeah,
pull
you
up
have.
NQ?
You watch the Nasdaq. Don't even give me that. I know you watch the Nasdaq.
Lately.
Oh dear.
Well, there ain't no way in hell. Like,
sorry, guys.
That's a W formation high. Like, your best bet is to come back to that 0.236. Here's the thing. Look, I think when SPY comes back down, because I do think it's going to happen, right? And I do think it's going to be a lower low, like it always has been. From wherever it goes up high, I don't care where it goes high. And when that happens, every other index is going to be higher low, right? So you're going to be like at 0.236, 0.382, somewhere's in there where he's sitting right now. You might hit that golden pocket and bounce. We'll see. It depends on how high this high gets first, right? But that's a straight up move. And arguably, like if you were to look at that from an FVG standpoint, like your 618 to your 382 is a big ass FVG.
There you go. There are your trades.
So, Will, where's SPY gonna global bottom at then?
I got a chart with some things on it.
I'd love to see that chart with some things on it.
We talked about it, and people are gonna say I'm being too bearish, man. Like I'm telling you, look.
Yeah, people say all kinds of dumb things, Will.
All right, share. All right, so if you look here at mine, I'm a realist, man. I don't shill, I don't BS. I just keep things the way they are. Like I think this whole freaking thing is gonna wreck people. Like if you put on the weekly,
Hang on, Will. We're trying to transfer over to you. It's like
right.
kind of frozen here.
I can't see it.
Tucker, can you share yours again?
Yeah.
Just one moment. It's like right. Tucker's shows up right away. Will, yours like doesn't show up. It's like basically the Zoom equivalent of the spinning beach ball. There we go. Okay, we're live in the doctor's office. Let's go.
So you got you do have the arguably weekly test, right? Lower highs. But like when you zoom out even further, which is what I'm looking for, there's a higher time frame play here. And again, these take a long time to play out, right? This could be like a couple of years. But we don't really escape this liquidity zone just that easily. So you got these right here, higher time frame, right? And you arguably formed a higher high here on SPY, and then you basically nuked back down to a lower low, and you did the same thing here, you did the same thing here, and this is monthly, right? And arguably here we just basically formed our first portion of our W, right? So we're basically gonna break out, and it really depends on time. But you know, I'm looking anywhere all the way down there at 3,200, where we were originally supposed to go over here, on this side of the market, and that's just your W formation high, just like all previous markets. Boom, break, and some of you may be like, "Well, that's COVID." This ain't COVID. This isn't COVID. Over here in 1970s, this wasn't COVID. So again, this is just an atypical move that SPY tends to do. So I'm fully expecting it to do it again. Now, you know, if I get caught off sides, I get caught off sides, but I'm definitely going to be looking to redeploy once we see that violation. Now, what I would look for this to occur also, because I think that's what a lot of people are probably looking for. They're probably like, well, that wouldn't happen. Well, I can give you an example of what'll probably happen up here if this is going to happen. It's basically and where you could cut your positions. You get above this high, you come back down below that high, you retest resistance, and you start to reject. You start to reject, you're going to start nuking from there. And then
So
from there,
you're talking like all of
you'll form back
2024.
out.
2024 is going to be just trash, is what it looks like.
I mean, yeah, it could be 2024. This could take much longer to play, and it could be 2026, 2028. Right? We could really trend here like this for a long period of time and never really break out, but start to form structurally kind of like a circular top on the center portion before we end up breaking down. Now, at the same time, although we're talking about it, it's something like this, right? So if you look here at these, that's precisely what happened here. The market just went like this, losing momentum, and then just dropped. And now, the thing is with where we're at is we've had a lot of movement, right? And it looks very eerily like this. And that's kind of where we are right now. We're kind of retesting this high with these pump, and then we start to slow down beyond here. Up, sideways, up, sideways, up, sideways. As we work our way to back up to the highs, and then we violate the high here, and then from there, we do exactly what I'm talking about, and we basically just resist kind of like right here at the highs, and arguably we could even say like, okay, right there, we just deviated, dropped, and now we played the deviation again, boom, come back up to attempt to retest, and then just fall off a cliff from there. So that would be kind of my thesis here. So for that to play, you'd be looking for a deviation above here, and then you'd be looking for it to kind of trend below, maybe even hug the bottom here for multi-months, and then just start to nuke from there.
And guys, real quick, we got 12 likes on this video. We currently have 22 people watching live. If you guys could please just take one quick moment, head over to that thumbs up button. It just takes one moment. I already see some of you guys moving over there, so thank you. I would love to get to 20 likes. That's usually our goal, and usually you guys easily accomplish that. We run the range high of 20, so please, if you are enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the stream, if you're enjoying Will's Doomer's outlook for 2024 and 2025, he thinks that we're going to capitulate to new lows. He says it's completely over and the stock market will never make a new all-time high. If you agree with Will, please go and like that video.
Snip that, man.
I'm just kidding. That's
snip that.
People are gonna snip that and send that all over CT, and then you're gonna have to be like, "That's not what I said."
Highs in stocks ever. The real super cycle in Lucid and Rivian stock.
Yeah,
all money flows back into Lucid and Rivian.
Hold on. Talk about predatory, man. Talk about predatory. Did you see
you have
Lucid?
so many tabs open, man. That's unbelievable.
Bro, I'm monitoring so much stuff. It's not like this is only like a 10% of like the stuff I'm watching. You don't even want to see my watch list. It's absolutely disgusting. My computer's
Your watch list does need help. Well, I'll agree with that.
It's bad.
Bad.
But Will doesn't miss anything. That's because he can watch all that stuff. He's got a quant mind, man. His brain is like a giant like file folder, you know. I couldn't watch that much stuff.
Man, I hate to see stuff move without me. So I'm trying to look where the money's moving.
When things move without me, I take it personally, you know.
I always want to be the first one to get on to any type of movement. But Lucid, man, this is super predatory. Look, came up, got everybody pumped in, and then rolled it right back down to the low. And I think they were at what, like 680 this morning, 670 somewhere in there. And now they're already back above 7 again. But that's the thing. Like, this is the beauty of Lucid. Like, tell me you can't see the range here. And it's like trickle, right? It's trickle. There's very little trading here. They are accumulating this range here. And really, I think this is your deviation. This is your deviation because you got a bullish div right here too, right? You got a bullish div right there. You got strength playing in favor of upside. You got the drop right here. I really think that this is a reversal move. And then you got the compressed highs, right? Your highs are actually getting lower and lower, whereas your bull div's continuing to hold the low here. So it's kind of like a move like this, where you're getting sandwiched into a position of breakout right there. And really the only location now, some of you will be like, well, that'll break down. No, this is a move that tends to hold and breaks this way. So like that's my expectations for this one right here. And that's why I have this, even though this is a little more vertical. This would be my expectation on the move. And the reason I do this so vertical is because that's just how things have been moving. I mean, look at Rivian when it broke out of its bull div down here at the lows. It, you know, arguably like this thing it just chatted. And this is my expectation for Rivian. Look, I already had this drawn out before this first candle formed right here. I already knew they were going to consolidate this range right here before they would end up breaking out at the highs.
Double top.
Boom, boom, boom. They'll consolidate the range and then they'll break again into the previous range right over here. That's what they're looking for. They're looking to get in there. Now, how did I know that they were going to consolidate over there? I mean, it's pretty obvious move from over here. That's where I was expecting them to try and consolidate the range because that's your real resistance. Your real resistance is where you dropped originally. And then once you can kind of break above this resistance and hold, they're going to arguably start playing the upper ranges of this and try to work their way back up to here.
I sold the top on Rivian. Well,
He used you as exit liquidity, Will.
yeah, yeah, I
Damn.
dumped on you, Will.
Dude, I
Tucker will
think
dump
a
on you.
retest of 30K might be a short on Bitcoin if it comes.
A retest of 30K.
Yeah.
Anchor a volume profile from the
I'm muted the whole time. People keep talking about DXY is ripping. Does this look like ripping to you guys? It's basically retested the wick lows.
I
Needs
liked
to
the
get
scenario
lower.
that you laid out the other stream. Well, it was I think last week we talked about like a really high time frame perspective on DXY and what that could mean for risk across the board over the next like even 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll roll up before roll down. Yeah, I can see that. I think that consolidating up here makes sense based, and I had this already drawn out that we were going to roll back up, right? And it's just a bounce, right? You get it's these reactionary bounces, reactionary bounce. Now, granted, this will bleed down to the support before it'll actually roll back up really hard, right? And so that's why I'm expecting assets to kind of continue up for a little bit longer, is because even though we're pulling back up on this candle, I think we slowly candle body close above here. And then once we get a candle body close above here, we roll back up, and that's where assets nuke, right? And then from there, we can roll back down and hit the lows. And the higher time frame low here, it's a pretty obvious higher time frame low that's pretty much been playing since 2007, right? You got a trend that has been continually up for the dollar. You broke out way far away from trend. And this is another thing too, for people that are new to trading, one of the best thing with trend lines is like not to really get too much into like, is this a trend or that a trend, but try and find a longer time frame trends and always understand the further away from the trend you get, the more likely you're going to come back to the trend, right? And then we got really far extended beyond the trend, and now the market's trying to rebound to come back to the trend. It just, we never know where that will come back to and how many bounces we'll see along the way. So that's the expectation for the dollar from me, man. I think we could sit here and play this range all we want, but we're gonna bleed down to the trend high before we actually break back up to retest liquidity before we break down for the final capitulation move, aka the market breakout, the real move. I think Bitcoin's arguably Bitcoin's bull market happens on the nuke back down the trend. And then plays it low.
Will, I saw a really good plan that I liked on the dollar that would entail it potentially trading back towards 105 before lower than 98.5. Like 99, he this trader main, for example, is the Twitter I'm pulling it off of.
Yeah.
He has a stab on the dollar down to 99 and then back to 105, which I can see.
I've seen Trader Man too. I think he's pretty good. I wouldn't like to see these highs get violated. You come back up to 105, like you're pretty much starting to form higher highs, which means that inflation is starting to kick back in.
He doesn't
not
have it
inflation, sorry,
violating the
deflation.
high from the end of May, for example.
He doesn't have it violating.
I don't think he has it violating the high in the end of May, but it would represent a pullback.
Yeah, so like I think I think higher highs is in the books, but I think it trends before it does that, right? I just think that these lower highs continue to be the trend. Is really my thought here. So like no matter how much we try to push up, like we continue to form lower highs into the trend. And then from there it's bullish again, right? For the dollar.
Deflation.
Yeah, they can basically do this all day, but now you're at your pinch point, right? Either the dollar really breaks down, which I highly doubt. I know some of you may be like, oh, this or that, but dollar's not going anywhere. They'll print it back up. And then we start directionally going back that way. But that's just my thoughts.
Dang, the dollar looks pretty good. Looking at it on the hourly right now.
Yeah, it could definitely roll up. It just like your resistance is over here. That's where I think your resistance is.
Oh,
So
we're
you-
trading right into that 4-hour FVG. Probably reject from here and then make another low.
101.64 is like your best position in my opinion for this one. And then from there you roll back down.
That makes sense to me. The question is, Will, do we see downside in Bitcoin before we get that little rip down on the dollar? I don't know.
Downside on Bitcoin before downside on a dollar. Well, down on a dollar.
No, I meant before like we see the dollar like really puke.
Mhm.
Do you think we see any downside on Bitcoin to position on USD prices?
Yeah, so I think what it is like this little rollout position here. I think this is where you'll get that little mini nuke market as Bitcoin. I mean, as the dollar is trying to pressure against assets again. That's it. I always take it as like the dollar rotating bullish is assets are getting sold, right? And the dollar rotating bearish is assets getting bought because the dollar is getting weaker, assets are getting stronger, dollar is getting stronger, assets are getting weaker. And I've always been in the indication, and I've told people this a lot of times, and I'm going to say it again and again and again. For the audience, obviously, is that below a dollar, it's a buy signal, right? Above a dollar, it's a sell signal. Now that doesn't mean $1.89 is a sell signal. It just means that anytime you're playing near a trend that's trending in the direction that you're going, you're sitting around a dollar directionally. The market's telling me I should be buying things, right? By the way the dollar is set up.
Speaking of the dollar,
there'll be
though,
volatility in between. Good.
Will, do you chart the euro?
Yeah, I've ran the euro. I feel the dollar is more consistent. And if we're talking strength, I would actually argue British pound would be the stronger currency when it comes to European and stuff like that.
Well, I'm just speaking from like a risk perspective, because the euro dollar, historically speaking, tracks very closely to Bitcoin's price. And I think the euro looks like trash.
Well, euro's been garbage, but Bitcoin's been up, right, for a while now. But I have euro dollar on here. I think I got it the other way around. I think I got dollar euro, but I like to track other currencies and see how they're playing against the dollar to see if I always look at it like downside for other currencies against dollar means they're probably rotating the dollar. Even as weird as that sounds. So the market tends to.
The euro looks terrible. Wow.
Yeah, that's what
Wow.
I'm saying, man. That makes me a
Wow.
little hesitant down here at range lows,
Dude.
but I'm gonna stick to the
Wow.
plan, I
Let's
guess.
just put this on here.
Will, what on God's name is that chart?
What? the hell?
It is umbrella to wrap ETH.
Oh
Will,
my.
you need help, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that ticker on your chart, man.
Will, you gotta axe like half your watch list, man.
I was
Look
gonna
at
say,
this.
Will, you don't need to zoom out. I know exactly what the chart looks like against ETH.
Tucker,
I'm
you
try-
got any charts up, man?
I'm trying to find that next short.
I'm not.
bro.
I won't allow us to chart umbrella, man.
Hold on, I'm changing it. I'm changing it.
He's
Going
got
back,
too
we're
clever
going back to
watch
Tucker,
this.
man.
He
You
can't
lost,
get
you
to
lost
0.
screen sharing privileges, man.
Lots
After
of
that,
privilege. Bitcoin Euro.
Man, my computer's lagging. Hold on, are we on Tucker now?
yeah, we're on Tucker now.
Okay, I'll stop.
Pretty. I don't know, man. I don't know. The Europe, like if we just, you know what I'm saying? Kind of broke what the hell? There we go. Kind of broke the range there. I guess we broke to the upside first, but I don't know. It doesn't look great. Doesn't look great.
I don't like the chart, bro. Like look at how long Bitcoin sat up there while Euro sideways, rip sideways, right?
It looks like the Euro's front running a little bit, right? Like we're seeing this.
Oh, so we got a whole nother rip a leg.
No, look, you picked it up, and then Bitcoin moved up a little bit.
Nah, bro, don't count. That's a
Oh,
rip.
it's definitely leading Bitcoin, Tucker, 100%.
Definitely leading,
Yeah,
yeah.
we still had that big rip up.
Huh?
We still have to do that big rip up.
Okay, let me help you.
Will, the high of the year is in, man. You were so close on your prediction. You were just a little short, man. A couple thousand off.
Oh man, we're going up.
I mean, dude,
Let's
that was
keep watching.
that was a big move out of that was 5% out of Bitcoin. It probably was not that on the year.
Look, here. I'm gonna predict the future.
2%. Bitcoin is still more than the euro.
I'm gonna predict the future. What's gonna happen? We're gonna hit the 35K. Everybody in BB is gonna be all bulled up. I'm gonna go super bearish. I'm gonna short the market.
I promise you we're not bulled up at 35K. I promise you.
They're gonna be like all in, everything I got, sold my car, sold my house, got Bitcoin. and I'm gonna distribute to them.
Will, is Bitcoin ever going
OTC.
below 10K again?
Man, that's a hard one.
I know, that's why I asked it.
Man, look, we got to hit teens before we can even talk about it.
Yeah.
That's
That
really
was a cop out.
is.
That was a cop out, Will.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like any asset can go to zero. I feel like if we go to 10K, we're going to go to zero at this point.
No.
Like
We're
We
gonna
were
go to
just talking about
zero?
if that happens, the bear market's like gnarly bear market.
yeah, you like what is going to derive Bitcoin to go to 10K?
So here's and again, this is just a scenario. All right.
A nuke, maybe. A nuke.
I personally don't think we're going below 10K again. All right. But I will lay out a scenario that could take it below 10K in the next couple of years. Will, you showed us a nice chart of the S&P 500. And it basically is in this long range. If the S&P 500 goes down to make a new low sometime next year and we actually get the long anticipated recession and the yield curve begins the process of disinversion and we actually see unemployment climbing up 5, 6, maybe 7%, and we enter a highly deflationary economic environment and the Fed has over-tightened, I could see a scenario where risk dramatically devalues in a short period of time while the Fed basically hunkers down and issues some emergency cuts and probably QE. So I don't know. I mean, just a scenario, but I think if equities go on to make a new low, just given the tight positive correlation, I would think it's not impossible. But I'm not betting on that personally.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, at the end of the day, anything's possible, right? Anything's possible. It's even possible to happen later. And an asset can definitely get overweighted at a certain point and not be able to break ranges. I could show you tons of stocks that just have been there for 30 years and never really moved out of their range. Yeah, I mean, we could see something like that for Bitcoin, but like I think things have to get really detrimental. The problem with the thesis for me is that even though SPY seems to form a lower low every single time, Qs form a higher low, NASDAQ forms a higher low. Like everything seems to form a higher low off of that lower low for SPY. Every time that scenario pretty much has occurred. So they continue to show strength and kind of signal against further downside for SPY. But I would arguably say if you saw SPY below the previous low, like you should be bidding everything.
Dude,
Literally
Soul's looking a little booty right now, man.
Yes, it is.
Not the
I
good
told
kind,
you
man.
Soul's gonna bleed against Bitcoin because they got to
I
support
took my
Bitcoin
eye
or
off.
something.
I was thinking about trying to spec along here, assuming Bitcoin would hold. I'm happy I didn't. My God. I was looking at it at 26.20. I took my eyes off of it.
We are Bitcoin and Doge maxis now, Max.
Fine by me. And
I would
Ox.
say higher time frame here. You're probably looking at a W here. You're gonna come back down, retest that low on that left hand V shape out.
Calm
That
down.
looks pretty
Calm
ugly.
down a little bit.
Tell me why that doesn't come down to 6 cents.
No, for sure. That's the ape zone.
Ape
huh?
zone.
That's the value area high, baby.
Oh, they've
Did you guys
changed
see
it.
what DGen Spartan tweeted out this morning though about Rollbit?
No, what?
No. Do I want to
The
know?
intergalactic generational top is in against ETH.
What?
And
That's your ape zone.
Why? Walk me through that, Tommy. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
basically Rollbit's outperformance against ETH is over.
That's not.
Oh, really? I don't. Why would that be the case?
He
It's
says
called
it hit
Code.
like peak mind share. That looks, I don't know, man.
Dude, I don't know if I agree with that.
You can't call
I mean-
it top when the chart looks like that.
Yeah, that's
If
like
anybody
people trying
can,
to
though,
call
it's DGen
Caspa
Spartan,
top.
man. Like that dude, when it comes to like charting things against ETH, he's a killer.
Yeah.
But look at Caspa. What would you guys say on Caspa?
This is one I never got around to buying. Wish I did.
Dude, it looks like the Nvidia chart, man. That's literally Nvidia before the last earnings call.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep,
I
right
mean, that's
before the last
that's a
earnings
beautiful
call.
pullback, bro. That's
Except
a beautiful.
Nvidia's like up here though.
I remember I didn't buy that setup because I felt like it looked exactly like an FTN
Bro.
setup that burned me, I think in either March or April. So
It Caspa has been the easiest trade of the year. Go on the higher time frame. Go on the weekly or the daily. Or yeah, try the weekly. And then turn your log on. Like draw a channel.
It's like Bitcoin. Over
Draw a channel. Like it's just like hits bottom, bid, hits top, sell.
how would you even draw this?
Let me pull mine up real quick. Hold on. You saw mine in a chart thing, right? Or maybe
I mean, yeah, you can make it a little crude.
nah, like mine was super clean. I don't know why yours looks like that. Hold on. Let me see what I'm charting on real quick.
bulls need to show up here, man.
They're already here. You see the support on Bitcoin?
Man, I am not seeing it in the price.
We haven't violated no lows.
It looks quite fugly.
Let me get some of these volume profiles back on.
Look, the market's always scariest at the lows and most exciting at the highs. All right.
Oh man, oh no. Woo. There it goes. Boom, boom.
What you
Bro,
got?
my
Bull?
Caspa chart is
Kenobi.
beautiful.
Huh?
Bulby one Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh boy. That H-bar buy though.
Yeah, I like that Tucker right there, man. Little bounce. Let's run it into the weekend and range it. Spike on Sunday night, the new weekly open.
The
Zero.
The
Yeah.
market gave you guys an opportunity. You didn't take it. Now it's gonna leave without you.
Take what?
The
Longs?
opportunity the market gave you to get in.
Hey man, I'm taking longs, but I would say I'm the opposite of comfortable right now.
Uncomfortable. Oh,
I think
Are you
there's a-
long perps, Will?
I have longs on Bitcoin from freaking I don't even remember. It's in the Giga Chat chat. Like I haven't even opened my long because like when I was getting chopped up, it was very freaking painful. And like I haven't even looked at it.
I remember we were down here. You're like, yeah, my liquidation's like right here.
It
So-
was. It was. I was sweating. Like I literally couldn't even open the exchange. I was just like, yeah, I'm not.
Oh man.
Hey guys, we have been rolling for a little over an hour now. I say it's time to wrap things up. What do you guys say?
What
That's
you
for me.
say?
Get a good workout in, set some stops, and hope I don't have any alerts go off on my phone at the gym.
Hold on. I just want to find that chart I wanted to give to Tucker real quick. Give me 1 second.
What do you say
All
about
right,
the
so-
Sniper boys?
It's Caspa USDT Mexi.
Oh, it's a Mexi chart.
Yep. Put it on the weekly.
Where's Mexi?
And then turn on log. Yeah, it's that right there. Yeah.
You know what I noticed is Haggard's Super Sniper calling the top once again.
Oh, look at that.
That's why I said it. It's
$5
the
a month, guys.
bro. It's the easiest trade. You don't even need a super sniper.
You do. This dude
You
doesn't
always-
miss.
Look at that. You were good for a what 65% short. There you go.
Mhm.
There you go. 10x. I mean, come on. 650%. It's giving away money here. Free to the members of the Discord. Giga Chads.
Yes, it is.
Check that out, guys. Free trial. What are you waiting for? We picked up 5 new members in the past couple weeks. They've been loving it. Give it a try. All right, Tommy, man, let's take us out so you can go to the gym.
Cool.
It's time.
I don't even know what I'm gonna work out today. Because it's like one of those days where, you kind of took a few days off from the gym, maybe from vacation or something, and when you get back, all of your muscle groups, for whatever reason, when you hit them, they're all just like crazy sore because you like skipped a day. So I'm like my entire body feels sore, but I'm gonna still haul my ass to the gym, pound out a great workout, and we're gonna have a great Thursday afternoon, guys.
If I may, I think I have what you need. Here's what you need to do. You need to put on big noise canceling headphones. All right. You need to go on your Spotify and you need to put on repeat Down with the Sickness. All right.
Oh,
You need to
man.
not talk to anybody the whole time. You go to the locker room, 4 scoops of pre-workout, then you do deadlifts for 2 hours. Only deadlifts.
4 scoops of
okay?
pre-workout will literally kill me, Max. With mine, it's like 300 milligrams a scoop. I will
Well,
die.
All right. So 1,200 milligrams of caffeine. Down with the Sickness on repeat, noise canceling headphones, and then 2 hours of deadlifts. Only deadlifts, no other workouts.
God, my poor hands.
And then when you finish your deadlifts, go in the corner, shake your head a bunch.
Go punch,
Like,
go headbutt or punch
Look in the mirror.
man.
Look in the
Yeah.
mirror. You know,
And
look in
spin
the mirror,
sideways.
spin
For good
sideways.
measure, spin
Turn
sideways.
around, see who's looking at you, and just keep doing it.
Sorry if you guys hear a bell. My cat's playing with his rooster toy right next to me.
Make sure you side eye anybody who's looking at you while you're there.
Yeah, just challenge anybody to a lift off. Be like, oh, you think you're tough? Let's see how strong you are. Just they look at you the wrong way, man. Just get in their face. You know, show them
wanna
how
lift?
strong
You
you
wanna
are.
lift? Start
Yeah.
putting weights on the bar.
All right, take us out, Tommy.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being here, attending this stream. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you really love the content, like Max was saying, we do have some premium services that we offer in the description of this YouTube video, as well as the link tree of our Twitter bio. We even have a free trial for our Discord if that's something that interests you. We have been calling out some absolutely banger trades over the last few weeks. I mean, there's no embellishment there. It really has been just a money printer to be in there. So shout out to these guys for that, and shout out to our community. Shout out to all those guys who are in the stream right now, and we'll see you all for the Giga Chad call later today. Y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. We'll be back.